so we're good.
Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Sunday. As always, it is cloudy and it rained a lot on us yesterday at our meetup. How are you, everyone? Hi, Lynette, Sue. Good morning. Good morning. Ear hustling while I work out on an ivory off-shoulder crepe wedding dress. That is some ear hustling today, I tell you. How are you guys doing today? Did you do anything fun this weekend? We had our meetup yesterday. It was a lot of fun. We ended up having to change from doing the paddleboarding and the water sports because it was too cold and it rained to we just walked around Lake Padden. It was 2.6 miles.
Yeah.
I said 2. I was given a slightly hard time about misjudging the distance, but the elevation was fine.
It's mostly flat.
It was mostly flat. Hi, Teresa. And so, yeah, we did that. We got rained on. I got hot, took my rain jacket off, got soaked, took Olive. She got soaked. And then we went to a delicious local barbecue place that they have amazing. It's called Big Stick Barbecue up here in Bellingham. And they have delicious ribs, and the brisket and the pulled pork have nothing but, I believe, salt and pepper on them, smoked. They're great. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Linda, Colleen, EF. Good morning, all of you. All right, let's jump into some questions. Linda just started carnivore, popped on the scale, gained 3 pounds. Can you help explain this? Well, there is a lot of things going into it. How much weight you have to lose, age, gender, were you retaining fluid? How long has it been since you started? Because just started could be yesterday, 2 days ago. You want to be a little more specific. I can be a little bit more helpful in that. There are people who, especially in the first week, you can see a gain in weight because your body still has carbohydrates in it and you are eating fat, plus we tend to eat a bit more salt. It all just rinses away. I retained fluid 1 week. Okay. Not surprised that you're just a week in and that you've seen a little bit of uptick. If you're retaining fluid, and if you're a type 2 diabetic, this is a big thing too, guys, is insulin. When you have high levels of insulin, even if you're not a diabetic, if you are insulin resistant, insulin likes to hold on to salt, which holds on to water in the body. So if you tend to be type 2 diabetic, insulin resistant, and then you start eating more salts and things, I'm not saying avoid this, it's a temporary thing, you will then notice a slight uptick and then it comes down. Also, what I strongly suggest in the beginning is just tracking what you're eating for a little while to get a feel of what you're eating, to make sure, it says you said you did keto, just make sure there's no creep of a lot of carbs and sugars. But if you've been doing keto, I'd say you probably have a good sense of carbs and things like that. But just hold with it. Give yourself a little bit of time. Scott wants to say something.
Just make sure you're not eating too much protein, because some people, when they start carnivore, think carnivore is
well,
a pile of protein, and it's not really a pile of protein.
I think that's more rare. You don't have to eat a pound of meat every meal. And I don't know if you're doing that necessarily, but that tends to be more rare as of late. Linda, not type 2, but what you said is about the temporary uptake. I'll track. Yeah, and try not to stress. I know that's a really hard thing, is try not stressing, because the more we stress, our cortisol levels go up and it makes it harder for the body to let go of extra weight because it senses a period of stress. And when stress, we want to have the extra weight just in case things happen. So the more we stress, it's hard. It's probably the hardest part, honestly, about any weight loss health thing, is we want it to go as fast as we want it to go. And it's only going to do what it's going to do. Jessie J, currently eating a Twizzler. Sister, throw that Twizzler away in the trash. And if that doesn't do well enough, go look at the ingredients on the back of that. I'm not even just talking about the sugar. I'm talking about all the chemicals in it. Chuck that. Get rid of it. You got this. Just start today. You don't have to jump 100% on. Just start by throwing that Twizzler away. Lynette, excited to report my coronary artery calcium score is 0. That is amazing. 58. Cholesterol 402. LDL is 499. Wonderful cardiologist did not even mention a statin to me. That's amazing. That's a good
That
that's
is.
a good cardiologist not to be pecking you about a statin with your coronary artery scan so low. Hmm. Good morning, Betty, Terry. Doreen, I'm 65, lost from 425 to 220. Doreen, that's amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations, by the way. I hope you know that's almost half your body weight. I mean, you probably do know this. Now stalled because of family events. Life is a struggle. Things happen. I have experienced that the past 6 months. It doesn't, and I don't think you're giving up. You're here. Just don't give up. I I have my entire life wanted to lose weight, like, just this linear down, even keel, but life happens and we're not perfect, and that's okay. So, amazing job. First off, you got to celebrate where you were at to now where you are. So, that is amazing. Smile, Donna Lynn. That's cute. Been on this 6 weeks, lost 25 pounds. Congrats. I do have 4 carbs a day with coffee going to try to get off completely. Blood pressure down to normal. That is amazing. And it probably feels really, really good, especially for those of you who have high blood pressure and you have symptoms from it, like headache, just the cranial pain and things like that, palpitations, that kind of stuff. That is super duper duper cool. Okay, let's find some questions. All right, Gina asked, could you please tell me the brand of beef and cheese sausage you eat? Thank you so much. Scott is going to be a amazing dear, and he is going to link the sausage that we eat. It is the brand from Costco. They have the organic beef one that we eat, and we also do the beef and cheddar. 100% honest, the beef and cheddar is not as wholesome as just the straight up beef ones are. Scott put it there. They are delicious. Do I eat too many of them? Like, I eat only 2, but do I eat them too frequently? Probably, but to be honest, I like the ease of it. And if Scott's too tired to cook, that's what gets cooked, and it's meat. So I do think the organic beef ones, it's like 2 or 3 carbs, a sausage maybe. Sorry, my brain. If you go to the link, y'all, I want to point this out because some of you probably already know this, but this took a lot of just from us curing our own meats. These ones have grass-fed beef, water, salt, celery powder, black pepper, cane sugar, and garlic. When most of you probably already know this, but when you're reading ingredients list, the thing at the very front, it's the most in the item. The things at the end are the least. The reason it has cane sugar, it has 0 grams of sugar on the actual packaging, is a lot of places use literally just trace amounts to help with the curing process so it doesn't over dehydrate. And that's all it is. It's not for flavor. A lot of sausage, though, if it has added sugar, it has grams per serving. It's been added for flavor. And that's the problem with most sausages, is a lot of sugar is added to make it sweeter. Not this sausage, though. What do you know about coconut palm sugar? I use 2 teaspoons mint in my coffee. I've never used coconut palm sugar. I am not remotely the person to ask. I'm sorry, Terry. I try my coffee. I don't have any sweeteners in it. It just has some heavy cream. I guess you could argue that's a sweetener, right? But it just has heavy cream, coffee, and a squirt of vanilla extract is all I put in mine. And it took me a hot minute to get here. Let me tell you, I used to drink the venti caramel frappuccino with extra caramel from Starbucks a few times a week. So I used to be a super sugar kind of person. So, let's see. 1976 asked, do you have a recipe or video about chicken cordon bleu? I do, and I'm pretty sure you can just type in chicken cordon bleu or go to the recipe tab of my YouTube and you can find the chicken cordon bleu recipe. It's one of Scott's absolute favorite because I'm an easy girl. Make it easy, the better. Grilled chicken thighs, boom, done. Morning, Raven. Hi, Liberty. Keto Cheeto. That's cute. Let's see. Bonnie asked, do I know why Dr. Barry hasn't posted any videos on Monday nights? I don't know. Maybe someone else here does. That I do not know. Let's see. Frankie asked about the kielbasa again. And as I said, you really just have to pay attention to the ingredients. I always look for the 0 sugar. The beef and cheddar does have like 8 grams or something like that. We try to eat more of the organic grass-fed ones, but sometimes I just like the cheese ones. Oops. I just bought a hydrator. I can prep food for camping. They are super duper good. Scott loves our homemade beef jerky. If you can, the best way you can do it without slicing your finger off or getting hand cramps is having a meat slicer. We borrow my brother's. We have not bought one ourselves, but it works really well for making beef jerky and things. All right, Mama Bear, please tell us again how you and Scott met. Our story is interesting. I don't know if most of you guys know, I'm 34 now. Scott is 16 years older than I am. And we first met, oddly, when I was probably, 12?
Yeah.
When I say met, I mean just like literally met. I was 12 and he went to college with my brother. And that was like the first time meeting. And then life went on. I got older. I ended up in Minneapolis at the University of Minnesota. And I moved up there with no friends, no family. I'd moved from Virginia. I have never been to Minneapolis, or actually Minnesota in general. And so I decided to go to college up there. And I was super duper lonely. So I started playing video games because you didn't know, I'm a big nerd. And my brother was playing and he's like, oh, my friend Scott. You remember Scott? I went to college with him. And I'm like, sure, I remember Scott. Not really. And we just talked and boom, here we are 9 years later. Yeah, 9 years later, married 8. That's how we met. Funny enough, when I moved down to Phoenix with him, he had the couch that I grew up on, the leather couch. I made him get rid of it before I moved in because it looked like it was in terrible, terrible shape. Hi, Mary. Hi, Katie. How are all of you doing? If you have questions, throw them in the comments. Oh, yeah, Betsy. He's been in Poland for that medical conference. Now I remember because he's been probably super duper busy. And I don't think Nisha went with him. I'm pretty sure. Hi, Jennifer. How are the doggies? Well, currently I've got 3 of the 4 in here. Olive, it is official, y'all. She is part of the family. You can't see it, but I bought her a collar that has her name and my phone number on it. She's part of the fam now. Hi, Kimberly. Please tell me which new scale you have that reads all the different things. Would you mind grabbing the scale real quick?
Sure.
It's called an Oxaline.
I was trying to find it on Amazon.
No, you cannot order it on Amazon. Most of the stuff I do order on Amazon. I did tons of research. You cannot order the scale on Amazon. You have to order it directly from the company. Scott's going to snag it real quick for me. Maybe he's going to. He may have gotten lost getting it out of the bathroom. I really, really love this scale because, let's see, I weighed myself a week ago and I had lost 7 pounds of that 15 pounds of fluid I put on. It's got dog hair on it. Oh.
What?
Yeah. It's, okay, this is it. It doesn't even have the name on it, but it's the Oxaline Scale X Pro. Oh, it's on the back here. Let's see if I can get it close enough. Boop, boop. But here, you have to order it from the website. Okay, you just type in Oxaline Scale Pro in Google. Bam, there you are. You got it. Do love it. It does fat. It does bone mass. It does like 15 different markers on there. Mine was always the muscle for the fluid. That's how I knew. Like my fat content had not gone up, but the scale had gone up, and it was all water. Has Scott said yes to keep the last one? I shouldn't say begrudgingly. They came over yesterday, and my sister and brother-in-law, and Scott's like, okay, we're keeping her. He didn't know a week ago I had already ordered the collar with her name and my phone number on it. It just got here today.
Yeah, the brother-in-law was like, yeah, when you left with her a week ago, we said, she's not coming back. So everybody but me knew.
Everyone knew she was going to be part of the fam. Marcy, did I hear you mention Gardner, Wisconsin cheese? Yes, that is my favorite cheese. They've got the baked cheese. They've got the, is it the 17-year-old or 30-year-old? I can't remember now. 17-year-old. Both of them are good.
Yeah, the 17-year-old is cheddar.
It's like a 9 and 17.
Nice, crunchy crystals in it.
Yeah, it's got some salt crystals in it. Their cheese is thebomb.com, to sound super old. And I have a link in the description. I don't think the live I have it, but all my other videos, I have a link that you can use if you want to buy some of their cheese. I do love it. I saw that coming. You should have seen how many comments people said that. Just saw that coming. You know, she a good girl.
She is.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hi, Lynn. Sell 3 weeks ago. Hit right ribs. Better, but not great. Could I have a crack at something and still be functional? Fell 3 weeks ago. Hit the right ribs. I'm assuming better, but not great. You don't want to do any lifting or anything. You want to do, if you have cracked ribs or anything like that, it's painful, but deep breathing exercises every single day. Just literally every few hours, some deep breathing and some gentle stretching. The chipotle flavor is quite spicy. I think it's definitely going to depend on your spice taste. To me, it's not spicy at all. But I like spicy. Like Scott, I don't know if he actually had that one. Did you ever have the chipotle one of the baked cheese? I don't know if you ever had that one. He probably would think it's spicy.
I don't remember the chipotle one.
Scott already knew you couldn't give up. Yeah, he just... I told him, don't ever take me into a pound, because whatever dogs I lay eyes on, they're coming home. If I have to take 15 walks a day, we going to take 15 walks a day to take care of these dogs. I have the softest spot for dogs, and kids. At one point, I told Scott, if for some reason if I can't get pregnant or something happens, I definitely want to adopt. Kids, dogs, they don't get to choose who their parents are. They literally don't. They are just, it's a gamble who they get. Okay, questions. Lots of beef kielbasa questions. Answer that. Jerry asked, when did you get the new dog? Technically, we were fostering her. And what do people say?
Friday was like 9 days ago. Friday before we picked her up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's see. Teresa said, why take supplements if this is the way you're supposed to eat? I started eating carnivore, but I'm confused at this point. I take a high-quality multivitamin as an insurance policy. I also agreed with my PCP following me that I would. It's not going to do any harm. And if for some reason, because I don't eat nails to toes, nose to tail, that if I'm missing anything, because I can't gag down liver, that I get what I get. And the supplements I take is the multivitamin, the D3, one, because I live in Northwest US, well, Northwest Washington too, but also because of the hydroxychloroquine I take, I can't get a lot of sun exposure. So I take vitamin D, and then iodine, because I don't eat a lot of fish. So those are the supplements I take. I'm tired of beef. Is it okay to eat bacon and eggs? Do it. I've had times where I have gotten a little bit tired of one meat, and so I'll eat like chicken for 3 days. And chicken is not my favorite thing. I'll just kind of wax and wane. I trade off. Usually I call it a palate cleansing meal, and it's my chicken wings. I'll have like beef, and then chicken wings, and then I'm like ready for beef again. So maybe find a meal that works for you that is a palate cleansing meal that you really like. Don't have it too often because you want to keep it as like that special meal for yourself. I like easy. Like I really love easy. Your new dog has a dachshund face. I had dachshunds, miniature dachshunds as a kid. Well, one was a standard. She is a black and tan coon hound. Looks so much like a Doberman, but she is definitely a coon hound. If you actually take the pictures of them, they look exactly, well, the coloring is almost exactly the same, but she bays like a coon hound. She has the long ears, like a little coon hound. But if she gets on the scent of anything, she looks like, what was the movie Fox and the Hound, that old movie? Like she was just like sniff, 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 sniff. She's super cute. Hi, Mary. My hubby has had 2 heart attacks for funny feeding him this way of eating. I think maybe you meant feel funny feeding him this way of eating. No sugar, less inflammation, less likely to happen. Yeah, Betsy's right. Supplements for nutrients that are not as bountiful in the soil. If we were eating like well-known local regenerative farming beef, like we could afford that, I probably wouldn't do supplements, but that's just not something I can afford right now. And, it is what it is. We get meat from Costco and try to get meat on sale from the grocery store. And I just am not financially in the place to do that. And, it's okay. We all are where we're at. So, excuse me. You're the reason I started carnivore 2 months ago, down 20 pounds. Woo woo! That is amazing. Sorry. That is amazing. I imagine you feel immensely better too. Like, share some of those non-scale victories for us. I would love to hear them. I also take hydroxychloroquine. How much do you take for vitamin D? I think we take 10,000 units daily in the winter, like in the fall and winter. And then it depends. I take the lowest dose of hydroxy I can. I can get a little bit more sun. If I take my full dose, I get the legit rash. It looks like a sunburn after 20 minutes, but then I get the rash that goes along with it. And it lasts for honestly a couple weeks. Because I take half the dose now, I can tolerate some sun without too much issue. And so 10,000 fall, winter, 5,000 spring, summer, if you're able to tolerate sun. If not, 10,000 all the time is what I take. Oh, thank you for linking the scale, honey.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Not that, Anna. Hi. Any advice on the ill effects after eating someone else's cooking that had way too much pepper? It was beef with lots of it. I feel like crap now, dizzy, nauseous. Drink water. Make sure you're getting some sodium in yourself. And as much as I hate to say it, you just got to ride it out. Just the body has to kind of flush it out of its system. Make sure that you aim to eat things that are not triggering for you. Your body will flush it out. Usually the day after is the worst day. I'm curious what kind of pepper they used. If it was like black pepper or, spice pepper or whatnot. What D3 do we take? You got it's from Whole Foods. Country Life or Light Life? Country Life? Pretty sure it's Country Life or Country Light. Scott just bought some. I think you can order it off Amazon. Simple answer. I have the exact vitamin and D3 and iodine that I use on my Amazon link because I know you can get them off Amazon too. Probably cheaper than Whole Foods. I'm just realizing that. It's because we always wait the day before we need them, so I can't order them. But the brand is on the Amazon link. I can tell you that. Organic pepper, okay? It depends. Some people do fine. And there's black pepper, white pepper. There's like chipotle peppers. There's all kinds. I don't do well with black pepper. I can have a little bit. But Scott and I don't actually cook with black pepper anymore. keep forgetting to buy white pepper to try it out. I do fine, ironically, with Chipotle. But the black pepper causes my face to break out. It causes my face to break out and things like that. Here, it's Country Life. That's what we do. And I take 2 of these. Well, Scott takes 2 of these too. And then for the women, I do same thing. Well, the sun's kind of in the way. It's the Core Daily Life for women. That kind of does it. Scott takes the men's. But again, I agreed with my PCP to do this, and I'm going to have full integrity. And if he's going to be my doctor, I'm going to follow it. Plus insurance policy. And Betsy said the right thing is I'm not eating the most nutrient beef because we just can't afford it. So worst case, it's just going in the toilet. Best case, I'm actually using some of it. I think it was black pepper. Yeah, ask. Maybe they added some kind of, because there's all sorts of different peppers they could put into it. Funny enough, I was talking to my dad's girlfriend, and because she started carnivore, and she said like she has a hard time going over to people's houses and then making like a smattering of food and not eating what they make. I don't have that problem. Like, thank you for being considerate for making food, but if it's going to make me feel bad, I'm not going to eat it. We have to pay for the repercussions of maybe hurting somebody's feelings. It takes time. I've been doing this over a year now. I probably was exactly the same way in the beginning. It's a mosquito. Sorry. Yeah, white pepper is supposed to have less oxalates. I keep meaning to get some and try it and see if I feel better from that. Changed to white pepper. I can tolerate it a bit better than black. Yeah, you just gotta figure it out. Okay. Let's see. The restless kind. What's the benefit of iodine? Iodine is required by every cell in our body to function. Mostly the thyroid is the biggest mention of iodine. Goiters were a thing, and what it is your body produces the precursor to making T4, T3. I always get them backwards. And what happens if it doesn't have iodine to bind with, it starts producing the goiter, and it's just like a storage, and it just keeps pumping it in because your body's like, I need more energy, but I'm not getting enough iodine. I don't use iodized salt because the anti-caking agents in them are not good for us. And I don't eat enough fish, so I do 2 drops of Locals 2% iodine in my coffee every day, except I don't think I've done it the past few days because I forgot. That's my bad. I think Dr. Berry says 2 to 4 drops. I do 2. I have no goiter, so, Let's see. Renee, love your simple, bland diet. Bland is the way I prefer to eat. What do you think about natural honey as a sweetener? Thanks for sharing. There is... Oh, Ryu, honey, you're going to have to get up. Ryu, I'm sorry, baby. Your booty's in the way. That's such a complicated question, honestly, the honey and fruit. If you were never metabolically sick, if you don't have autoimmune issues with the body, you're healthy, active, and fit, I genuinely think people can tolerate a little bit of honey and a little bit of fruit fine. However, most of us that do carnivore have been overweight, metabolically sick, autoimmune, diseases of some kind, insulin resistant. If you're insulin resistant, and you do not have to be a type 2 diabetic, you can be on the way there to be insulin resistant, I think it's not a great idea. Or if you're a binge eater, it triggers you to eat more. There's so many different things that I think it's a slippery slope to add sugar into the diet if you're not able to manage it or your body isn't. Even now, I still have 90 pounds to go, something like that. I will be extremely hesitant, and I don't think I will ever purposely add honey back into my diet because that slope, even eventually when my insulin resistance normal, I don't know. It's this very slippery slope. But again, metabolically healthy people, I think their bodies can deal with it fine as long as you're not eating tablespoons a day. But for us that are not, I strongly recommend not doing it. My biggest why for carnivore was to reverse my fibrocystic breast masses that were due to digesting broccoli. I didn't realize that was a thing for 6 years before carnivore. Interesting. I've been carnivore, zero carb for a year and almost 2 weeks. The breast masses are pretty much gone. That's amazing. Broccoli does cause it, or any cruciferous. I always say this terrible. They block iodine from foods. Interesting. I didn't know that. I've never been a broccoli eater. Scott was.
Broccoli cheese soup.
Broccoli cheese soup. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next question. Nina, that's fantastic. I probably could live on meat too. Love it so much, and cheese. But then the pipes need cleaning. I need fiber. How does it not get you constipated? Well, the intestines are a tube, and there is nowhere for anything to hide. As long as you are eating enough, drinking enough, and moving around, your body will push it out. Thank you, honey. We have a natural, it's called a peristaltic wave, that is like milking the intestines towards the exit. What happens is if we're not drinking enough water, the body will pull the water out of the stool and make it more like rocks. And that's where constipation comes from. Drink enough water, you're fine. Okay. Thank you, honey. Scott's saying bye. He's going to go make us breakfast because we have to leave almost immediately after the live. Dr. Chafee said broccoli didn't exist 100 years ago. For some reason, I'm thinking someone told me broccoli was a mixture of 2 vegetables. Broccoli was never my thing, so I never actually bothered with that. Let's see. At Soundwave. Do you still drink tea, coffee with milk during the day? I drink coffee, a cup of coffee every morning. I'll have herbal tea intermittently, but I don't use milk. I use heavy cream. Milk has a lot of sugar in it. Plus, I hate cow's milk. Ugh. Disgusting. I was that weird kid that would take my spoon and dump all of the milk out of the cereal before I ate it. Do you guys like milk? Am I the only weird one that's never liked cow's milk in my entire life? Blade Ebony. Do you have loose skin? I lost 70 pounds and started seeing loose skin, so stopped. Any advice? Yes, I do have loose skin. I mean, there's only so much the body can hold before things start to get a little saggy. I don't care. It is what it is. Having loose skin, it really did used to bother me, like the fear of it. But now I realized for me, it was an excuse. Who cares if the skin is loose if I can't tie my shoes because I'm so overweight, or I can't do minimal amount of jogging? Who cares? Like, it's just a thing. And I know, I can't remember the guy's name. I don't think he's on Carnivore, but he's lost like 300 pounds, 350 pounds or something. And he has a lot of loose skin. People say some of the most terrible comments to him. And he's super fit now, like buff. Who cares? Skin is skin. What matters is, here's my answer to that. I guess my best answer is live another 10 or 15 years walking, moving, living, or live, 10 to 15 less, but not have saggy skin. Like, it's pretty much that's the trade-off at this point. Terry said, I haven't had milk in 60 years. I hate milk. Oh, my oldest sister, her kids, my niece and nephews, they'd go through a gallon a day. I'd gag even thinking about drinking milk. I try to tell people that all cats have loose skin, and aren't they some of the most elegant and gorgeous animals on the planet? True. Olive, being a coonhound, she got a lot of extra skin. She was sitting on the seat the other day, and literally her skin was flopped over the side of the chair. It was so funny. Dr. Fung's fasting can make your body eat away at loose skin. Give it some time. Yep. I think I can say after losing about the 120 pounds, I do have loose skin. Do I think it would have been looser if I had done something like a gastric bypass or something. Probably. But I'm also not unrealistic. Is there's only a certain amount that the body's going to be able to deal with. By the time I get to my ideal weight, am I going to have some of it choppied? Probably. If I can't afford it, then oh well, it's just going to be what it's going to be. I think that's worrying too much cosmetically about what we look like versus what our health is like. Thank you, Faith. That's very sweet of you. Let's see. Kevin asked, do you get a sunburn? Why is your skin so red? Yes, I do get sunburned really easy. But the redness, if you look from my original videos, is much less. I have rosacea. I mean, it's part of an autoimmune. Goes with the scleroderma. It is much, much better. If you guys haven't seen in my original videos, go and look. Because it actually creates spider veins. They're microscopic now compared to what they were. But once they're there, the spider veins are there. They can get smaller, but you have to have laser treatment to fix them. Katie, I've lost 175 pounds. Amazing. Congratulations. And I have some, but not much. I'd rather have loose skin than be unhealthy. It's just an external cosmetic thing. Who cares? If you can participate in life, be happy, pleased, and just not depressed, who cares? I mean, other people might say nasty things, but I'm finding that people who make these nasty comments, it rarely is about the person they're talking about. It is a reflection on themselves. That's all it is. I mean, I know they're making the comment to the person, but Nanas. I miss coffee, tried heavy cream, but it wasn't the same. Have you tried butter in your coffee? Someone told me to try that. Yes, Scott drinks butter in his coffee every morning now. I'm the one that drinks a little bit of the heavy cream. You need to use a frother. Or a frother, a blender, mixer, whatever it is. Putting butter directly in your coffee just melts it on the top, and there is no amount of manual mixing that you can emulsify it well enough. Blender, frother, it's really, really good. I still like heavy cream a little bit more, but if it's all I got, I can easily drink it. And I was the super sugar drinker with my coffee, like caramel frappuccino, extra caramel sugar drinker with my coffee. And now I just have coffee with a little bit of heavy cream, or some days I'll have coffee with butter. And it's about a tablespoon max. I just do a little bit until it tastes right to me. Morning, Audrey. I don't know if anybody told you that. That's my grandmother's name. I mean, she's passed away now, but I love Audrey. My daughter has alpha-gal and is so overweight. Wish she could do carnivore way of eating. From what I understand, alpha-gal can fade over time, but chicken, things like that, I thought were chicken and turkey and stuff were an option. Not obviously if you could do beef, but with alpha-gal you can't. But I'd be curious in 6 months to a year how her alpha-gal is doing, because I hear a lot of times the sensitivity or reaction just goes away over time if you can avoid triggering it. Flying squirrels couldn't fly without loose skin. Don't give me any ideas. I got me some bat wings. I'll just try jumping off roofs, see if I can. I won't. Probably not. Leah, question. If my protein is low and total iron binding capacity is low too, do you think that means I need to eat more meat? Total iron binding capacity. To me, that sounds like something is missing and or a genetic component. If your ability to bind up the iron, I forgot what it's called. There is a few different ways to be anemic, but one of the ways is you are missing an enzyme in the stomach to actually, like if you ate 10 pounds of red meat, it didn't matter, your body wouldn't be able to pick up the iron from it. I'm curious if they've done testing to see if you are one of the ones that the type of anemia that can happen from missing the enzyme, because I believe they just give you the enzyme, boom, problem solved. But if your protein's low, yes. However, if you're having a binding capacity issue, something else is going on. Mix coffee with heavy cream in a blender. Yeah, I use Everyone, I saw someone make a comment that they use a tablespoon of heavy cream and never can get it as creamy as mine. Well, I do a tablespoon and a half. I drank too much of it. I use a frother. Just mixing it doesn't do it. Using the frother actually makes it like frothy at the top with the heavy cream in it. So I love it. Alpha-gal resolves, not a life sentence. Friend finally tried beef and she was thrilled, no longer reactive. I think Dr. Berry had a video, or at least I know I saw him talking about it in a live. Someone was asking about alpha-gal. But from what I understand, you could do chicken, turkey, and stuff instead of beef for a while. And then if things calm down, then get to it. Friend lost over 225 pounds after gastric bypass. That is amazing. Came so fit that he would place very high in a 24-hour mountain bike races. It still took cosmetic surgery to remove his skin. There is a threshold. There is a threshold. Big thing, genetics. I know people hate this word, but genetics. The amount of collagen that is in your skin plays a huge role. My mom has a friend that she went from like 150 pounds to 400 pounds, back down to like 200 pounds, not in a short period, by the way. Not a single stretch mark on this lady. And I mean, not a single stretch mark. She was actually one of the first groups to have the lap band. Like this is in the 90s, late 90s, when they start doing lap band. She was actually one of the first 10 people to have the lap band ever done. And because she has so much collagen and she heals so quickly, she almost died because they put the lap band around and it actually completely closed off. Anyways, that was TMI. She has almost no loose skin, has no stretch marks. Amanda is covered in stretch marks. I had stretch marks from the time I was a teenager as I went through puberty and just like through here and stuff. That plays a big part of how tight your skin's going to get. Less collagen, you're going to have more loose skin. It just is what it is. Loves, what small personal rewards do you offer to yourself to celebrate incremental goals or habits? Not food. There are no food rewards in this house. That is the biggest habit I've had for the past from 22 years. Cannot do math. The past 22 years of my life, I have used food as reward. So there is zero food. I don't really try to reward myself anymore because if I'm aiming to be the person I want to be, it itself is a reward. Like, I don't know how to explain that. In the beginning, I can see wanting to because I've done the reward thing before, but for me, I don't like shopping, and I also don't want to trade off eating bad food for shopping addiction. You know what I mean? So honestly, reading. I love my nerd books. So reading, or Scott and I will play a video game together. Those kinds of things. Walking the dogs. I'm not a huge pusher for rewards like that. Because as you start doing habits and stuff, you actually get the dopamine and the serotonin that are feedback mechanisms that give you that reward versus having to do something external to do it. So that may not be a great answer, but that's my answer. I get terrible leg cramps with coffee. I miss it. How can I offset it? It could be the caffeine if you have not been drinking it a lot. Have you tried decaf coffee? I would say start there. That would be the biggest place to start with. Hi, Danita. You missed getting rained on yesterday. It was, if anybody lives up in this area, usually we don't have a downpour, at least up in Bellingham. It was a downpour yesterday. Doreen, best reward for me, new outfit or dress. Yeah, I'm not a shopper. I hate shopping. Oh my God, I hate shopping. I'm get in, get out, get done. The worst. And that's also what I've done too. I have also rewarded myself with food. Yeah. And it just keeps that terrible habit. I shouldn't say terrible. It just keeps that unhelpful habit of using food to reward ourselves. And then every small thing we do, we want to reach for food. And then I used to start wondering, why do I always reach for food? Well, because I've turned it into, if it's good, bad, happy, or sad, I would reach for food. So breaking that habit is really important. Let's see. At Pamela, where do you get the salt rock you suck on? That's interesting. It's from Redmond's website. You cannot get it from Amazon. They don't sell it directly on Amazon. If you're out of the country, on Amazon, the Himalayan rock salts are a good alternative too for it. But literally, I think Redmond's calls it salt crystal. I call it salt rock because it looks like a rock. That's Amanda. Karen, I was there shopping for a rollator and thought, what the heck am I doing? I started another weight loss attempt instead, and then I found carnivore. That's amazing. Rollators are four-wheeled walkers, if anybody didn't know. Leslie, what's your blood type? I'm O. I have had a handful of people ask me about blood type. I do not remotely believe in the blood type thing. Scott is A positive, and he does amazing with carnivore, and A positive is supposed to be eating vegetables, like I think pretty much vegan. Vegan is A positive according to that book or whatever. Lisa, congrats on your health journey so far. Thank you. I was wondering what creamer you use in your coffee. I can never seem to find one I like. I buy Costco's heavy cream. Yes, it has carrageenan in it. Is it the best? No. But I do not like, what's the gum? The organic ones use it. The something gum. I want to say xanthan, but that's not it. Whatever it is. I hate the taste of it. The aftertaste of whatever the gum is they use in the organic is gross to me. I would prefer some without. Eventually, I'd like to find a dairy around here if there is one and see if we can just get it directly from them without the additive. Because it's just a thickener. I don't care if it's thin. Who cares? Obviously, they do. But that's what I use for mine. Gar gum, yeah, it tastes terrible. It tastes like the aftertaste of artificial sweeteners. The guar gum. Gross. I hate grocery shopping. Clothes shopping, however. I've hated it all. Even when I was, thinner, I just hate shopping. Not my jam. Let's see. How's your cholesterol eating all that meat? I'm one of the ones my cholesterol went down a little bit. So did Scott's. I am due, I think, in 6 weeks to have my blood work redone again. Let's see. What type of iodine do I need to get? It is the Lugol's 2% iodine. Oh, here's another question. What about blood type A? How can I do carnivore if they say I must eat vegetables and nuts and chicken? Scott's A positive. Linda, he does amazing. He lost 25 pounds on carnivore, plus tripled his testosterone and eats trace to no vegetables at all. Is half and half okay for coffee? Half and half is half cream, half milk. It is going to have more carbs and sugar in it. If it's not stalling you and you're not feeling bad, you got to decide for you if it's your thing or not. I don't use half and half because I try to do the high fat. But again, I hate milk. Gross. I have all these weird things. Now as an adult, I realize I have all these weird things. Don't like eggs. Don't like milk. Leslie. Someone, Hermione's. Where did Olive come from? I'd watch a video about her. I'm here for it. Olive came from a Tractor Supply parking lot. That then I got her because my sister and them can't keep her, so now she's mine. That is where Miss Olive came from. Vince, I discovered my blood pressure meds were causing my legs, knees, and feet to swell up. Have you discovered side effects from meds causing problems? Okay, I don't take any heart medication, but one of the ladies that is now my friend, I went with her to see my cardiologist. It was her appointment. She took me with her though. And she's on 3 blood pressure medications and a handful of other medicines. He was going over the drug list with her and he's like, okay, well, this one causes inflammation. This one causes fluid retention. Oh, and here we have an anti-fluid retention pill to combat the pill that you are taking. And it was crazy the amount of heart medications that were fluid retaining. But guess what happens when you retain fluid? Your blood pressure goes up. It's like, think about this. It's water in a hose. If you have more water in the hose, the pressure has to be higher to push through because it's having to push more fluid forwards. So it's like a heart medication that requires or that causes fluid retention, and then they have to give her a heart blood pressure medicine to lower it. It's like, where's the logic here? It's crazy. Most medications have bad side effects, and a lot of times, if you take a lot of drugs, really sit down and look at them. A lot of times they'll give you a drug to deal with another drug that you didn't need the second drug. You only need it because you have the first drug. Crazy. Let's see. Texas girl. Amanda, are you ketovore or carnivore? I mean, you could argue ketovore for the fact that I have spices and dairy. I say carnivore because 95% of my diet is meat. I did have onions on a burger Monday. They were phenomenal. Not gonna lie. Scott made some grilled onions and I realized, you know what? If that's my cheat, it's like, I'm all for that. If I have that every, once a week, once every few weeks, and it's some onions on a burger, I'm going to take that because it was so good. It was the best burger of my entire life. What do you feed your dogs? My dogs get dog food. Sue me. I would love to eventually get them transitioned to an all-meat diet. We just can't afford it. And with Rio, she has such GI issues that even when I try to feed her chicken, she has problems. So I don't mean to sound this like completely morbid, but she has like 6 months to 2 years left. She's 13 this year, December, and she's just, she's got the neck and back pain. Anyways, the others do get specialized prescription diet food. That's what they get. I would eventually like to get to the point where we can feed them carnivore, but that's in the works to be done. I want to get one of the things that you can crush bone with. That way we can mill it up, because that is a big thing with people who do carnivore with their dogs is they don't give them enough. They don't get enough. Is it calcium and it's not potassium? I forgot magnesium. I don't remember what it is, but they get it from chewing on the bones, and it can kill dogs very quickly if you give them just straight up just meat and not the bones, non-weight bearing bones to chew on. I have to ask because I forgot. Thaddeus, how is this different from Atkins diet? Atkins, well, no seed oils. And Atkins was just kind of like keto in a sense, but you could do a lot more processed stuff. I did Atkins, and my favorite thing was pepperoni with cheese in the microwave. And that'd be an entire meal. Pepperoni, cheese, microwave. Tons of Atkins foods and things like that. Yeah. And Atkins, I mean, don't get me wrong, I lost some weight with Atkins, but it is definitely, I saw it as just a weight loss plan. And this is a forever kind of thing. No MCT oil in my coffee. I never used MCT oil. Whoops, going drunk here. No, I've never used MCT oil in it. I don't know. Have any of you guys used it? Have you felt? One of the carnivore ladies near me said she tried it and she found that she actually ate more when she used it. Yeah. Sandra, my dog's 14 and she's allergic to chicken. I try every so often to give her some, but nope, she gets sick every time and doesn't have stomach issues. Yeah. Ryu, she's from the Cayman Islands, and she was a trash digging dog. So someone must have owned her, and she has terrible GI issues. And they were probably feeding her scraps, and then she was having lots of issues in the house, because then she was found by animal control, and they went to go spay her, neuter, spay. And they had actually found that she had already been spayed, but that's why they tattoo. If you ever look at the bottom of your dog, they have a little line tattoo that's to tell them they've been spayed or neutered. And then my sister ended up with her, and this is a very long story, but I ended up with her. In beef, terrible issues. Chicken, terrible issues. I've tried rice before, terrible issues. She has to eat a very, very strict diet. 3-day bone broth makes the one so soft they can crush. Oh, that's actually a good idea, Lynn. You could do bone broth, and you could actually probably just pour it on top of the food too, and they'd get the nutrients out of with the marrow, plus if they wanted to chew on it. Would you consider taking an MRI to find out your visceral fat and post results over time? They have the DEXA scan. I've been wanting to do that, but we'd have to drive all the way to Seattle. That is a plan. My scale that I bought, and that's why I actually did a lot of research, it's plus or minus 3% accuracy to the DEXA scan. It's probably what you're meaning, because definitely not going to do an MRI and have tons of the radiation from that just to check the visceral fat. Plus, it's thousands of dollars to have an MRI done for that. But you probably meant the DEXA scan. But that's why I got that Oxline scale, because it's quite accurate compared to the DEXA scan without having to deal with the radiation from that. Yeah. Let's see. We got a few more questions, and then I need to hop off to go eat. Marie, do you take vegetables and fruits? I do not do any fruit. I do love berries, but no, I do not do any fruit. And I pretty much don't do any vegetables. I do spices. It's pretty like the basic definition of carnivore. Or if you do ketovore, you can do, if you feel fine from it, a few veggies here and there throughout the week. You do you. My brother, so this is sidetrack, but what he was doing with his eggshells is they have chickens, and he would wash them, dry them, put them in the oven, and then he would use a pestle and mortar and crush them into a powder, because he tried just crushing them, and the dogs did not do well. They were not able to digest it out of it. So all right, last question. If you guys throw them in there, I'll get last question from here and go from there. Let's see. Sorry, I'm digging through some questions that are crazy. Okay, here, Heather, I hope you get over this flare-up soon. Do you think oxalate dumping was triggering your symptoms? No, specifically from the 15-pound fluid gain that I had. I've lost over half of that by now, was from breathing mold for 3 days. Not a smart thing with autoimmune stuff. Probably not a smart thing for anybody to be breathing mold for days, or any mold at all. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Hi, Karen. Thank you, Anne. That is very sweet of you. Scott usually is with us most of the time, but things are crazy. He and my brother-in-law are going down to a friend's to go have nerd time, and I'm going to stay with my sister because she has 4 weeks till she's due, broke her ankle, and so now she can't go up and down the stairs to deal with their dogs. I will be taking care of her while they're gone. Anywho, I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next Sunday. Have fun, try something new, and no matter what the scale says, you are aiming towards better. And yeah. Bye, guys.